I am absolutely just blown away that 1 million of you have subscribed to this channel. I can't even wrap my mind around it, honestly, but I'm just so grateful. This is a dream to be able to create things and then share them with you and just have your friendship in return. And because of that, I just look back at kind of this progression of my brand, and when it really took off was with the Look Taller video series. That's when many of you were first introduced to my channel, and so I was just young and naive at the time, being like, you know what I just want to post today is something about being petite. So today I want to start with just sharing a few of my tips that I have for looking taller and slimmer. And so that's kind of where things started, more or less, here on Dearly Bethany. And so for about the first time in a year, I just wanted to dust off this series and give you some outfits that are a bit more updated. And just being petite, there are a ton of tricks that I use to visually elongate my outfits. So I'm just gonna share 3 of those outfits with you today. But first, quick, just before we jump into the outfits, I wanted to mention that there are only 3 days left to join my personal style masterclass. If you haven't heard about it, it is a signature course that helps you just dig deep into your loves and your inspirations, and it takes you in more of a step-by-step format from possibly feeling completely lost with your style to then fully representing you uniquely. So your style ends up being 100% yours. Close to 3,000 women have already joined, and so now I'm just really excited to welcome all of the new students to the 9-week journey that they're about to go on. And then it'll include lifetime access to all the lessons to watch, so you can watch it as many times as you want to, and then watch it, later on too, if you want to refresh your style. So if you want to join, just make sure to do it today before I close enrollment for the rest of the year. And you can head over to dearlybethany.com to do that, or just click the link in the description box. And let's get on with the looks. My first look, I'm gonna start with this shirt that I'm wearing, which is a puff sleeve shirt, and then I'm gonna add a silk skirt underneath. So although I love these 2 pieces independently, I wouldn't wear them together in this way. It's definitely making me look a little small, and the shirt becomes something that's really beautiful with the ruffle at the bottom, but I think that with the proportions, it's just really off to me. So remember that proportions are just the comparative relationship or the ratio of things one to another. So it's entirely relative. So if one shirt works for you, it might not work with every outfit, and you'll just have to have that gut check of, does this look okay? Lots of people say that petites shouldn't wear midi skirts, and again, I just think it's all in how you're gonna style it. Plus, I love to highlight the high waist of the skirt length, which is in keeping with the rule of thirds. So in art, as a pro tip, it's really helpful to be able to have, instead of a half ratio to half ratio, to kind of make it one a lot longer than the other. So I'm using 1/3 of my body and then 2/3 for the skirt. In order to tuck in something that's this poofy on the bottom, I like to use shapewear, so that helps me whenever I need to tuck in things that are a bit bulky without it sort of warping with fabric laying on top. For my boots, I'm gonna use some ankle boots. The heel on these boots is gonna give me the literal height, of course, and then the pointed toe adds a couple of inches visually. And then for my jewelry, I'm just adding these diagonal lines with these long necklaces. But one thing that I see here so far is that my skirt is this long black line, then you can see the skin of my legs peeking out a little bit, and then it goes straight back to black. I'd like to have that long line of color to keep going, and so the way that I think this looks a little bit more natural to me is if I can add some tights. That's gonna soften the harshness of the boots, and then what comes out to play is more the texture of the boots. And because it's fall, I also wanted to introduce some outerwear with a trench. Visually, having the trench open whenever I can weather-wise will highlight that the waistline is more high up, and then you can play with that. If you feel like tucking in your top or wearing things high-waisted is a little bit off, you can work with layering, and then you can bring that line up and feel very comfortable doing it that way. I'm gonna roll the sleeves up a bit on this trench to just help with the bulk that I have now that my sleeves are going to be poofy and everything. Like there's a lot of bulk here, and so just having the trench sleeve rolled up, it allows me to have this ruffle peek out a little bit. And then for my go-to accessory, I always choose a hat. So for this outfit, I'm gonna choose a black leather beret. I added a baseball cap before, and I like the look of the black leather beret too. It just adds a couple of inches of height up top, and it repeats the black from the outfit down below. For this next outfit, I'm gonna be working with a jumpsuit. Some redeeming qualities right out of the gate with this jumpsuit is having a V neckline and a fitted waist, and that fitted waist ends right around where that skirt started in the last outfit, but we can make this a lot better. I want to switch from a white crew neck to a black one for a monochrome look with a little bit more sophistication, just not quite as sweet looking as the one before. In fact, let's bring that collar to be a turtleneck, because now I'm gonna bring that line even further up with that color. Of course, let's add a heeled boot to raise these pants off the ground more. If these were hemmed up, then I could have done with flats or some sort of sneaker depending on your style, but I love the stilts effect of having tall heels underneath long pants. I also wanna cinch the fabric at the waist with this glossy belt. Just having something that has more of a shine to it will catch the eye's attention there. And I'm using a thicker belt because I have a long torso. So if you have a shorter torso, this might be unnatural or uncomfortable, but I love the look of this. And this really helps with that rule of thirds, having that at play again. Instead of having a belt that's right at my halfway point, I'm moving that up, right? So one thing that I lost when I changed to a black shirt underneath is that V neckline. So we can reintroduce that with having a long necklace. And then, because I know some people need bigger bags with them in their day, this is my largest bag that I'm using here, and that's going to just blend with the shade that my outfit is, and that makes the size not much of a distraction. And lastly, for more of a basic outfit, I'm just working with a jeans and that crew neck from before. And so I'm gonna start by tucking in that top. That's like 101 stuff on this channel. So if you don't like tucking in your top, I have lots of other options scattered through with my videos. Personally, I want to switch my shirt to one that matches more of the golden tones of my skin tone, so something that looks a little bit more in the ivory realm with this turtleneck will really work. And then having that turtleneck, of course, is going to work really well for lengthening. I also want to add an ivory heeled boot, and that's going to land right around where my jeans are hemmed, which is really nice. And then I want to add a couple of necklaces here too, again, because that elongates. Anytime you can put that diagonal V, whether it's a V neckline or with jewelry, is going to really help. And because it's getting cooler here in Nashville, I'm going to add a denim jacket. So this one is fleece lined. I do own it. I do love it, despite that there are a few unlengthening things about it. These are guidelines at the end of the day. It's really good for colder days, but the fleece lining is adding a little bit of bulk, and the length is hitting me right at my widest point, so that's going to make it even look wider. And so that is really made more obvious because the jeans underneath it are a different color than the jacket itself. So instead, I'm going to try a long and thin denim jacket. So this one more closely matches the jeans. Now the color is a little bit more monochrome. It's not breaking up the outfit or bringing attention to where it lands, although where it lands is much better. And then it seems to be a little bit more of an effortless addition to the outfit because it has a blue that's more distressed with those yellow tones. So this one is a little bit more of a luxury item that I invested in because the cut and the color were so nice and so timeless, something I would always have in my wardrobe, but the principle is there, and that's really the takeaway here. I finally want to add a hat, and so for here I'm going to have an ivory knit beret, and that's going to work so well with the rest of the outfit, and then it's going to add a little bit of a fall texture too with the knit. Recently I sort of unpacked how knitwear can be too chunky and too overwhelming, so anytime that you can introduce a fabric that you really love, it doesn't have to be on something that looks bulky. And so with these three looks today, you can see that everything is relative when it comes to outfit building. How big or bulky it is with a jacket might be compared to how it was designed to fit. So think about how something was designed to fit and is it actually serving you well, because that needs to be the goal. So where does this garment land on me, and do I want that? From there, decide if you should swap out that piece or if instead you should just accessorize it to make it work for you, like I did with that belt earlier. So these are tactics on how to look taller, of course, but if you actually want help with your style, again, don't forget to enroll in my personal style course, Master the Art of Personal Style, and there's only a few days left to enroll in that, so I really would hate it if you miss out. Lots of people DM me and they're like, oh my gosh, Bethany, I missed out. So if you're interested, you can head over to dearlybethany.com, and with that, I will see you next time.